Hey everyone, Dev here, back with some more bowler videos. So the good news is I'm now starting to use a second Golem in with my army, dropping some of the giants away and just tinkering with the lineup a little bit. You'll also notice that I've got two new healers in there, so I'm taking 6 now instead of 4. And you're about to see the effect that these changes have been having on my raids. So the first one I'm going to show you today is a raid right here against Dagger. And a quick look at this base. We've got a nice symmetrical base here, and we've got an eagle artillery behind 2 layers of walls. Traditionally, what I would normally have done was maybe go for the frontal assault, so to speak, and try and clear some of these out with a queen walk. Okay, but that just seemed a little too predictable these days. And what I'm doing now is I'm actually trying to get a read on some of these bases and figure out just where the traps are going to be. So I'm actually going to start my queen walk over here. Alright, and the reason is I want these buildings, particularly these ones, to go down. And if I can clear over here with some wizards and Golem, first of all, then maybe I've got a good path to jump my bowlers in through here. So starting off, I've got the queen in here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that started, get that underway. And so you can see straight away that just by dropping the Golem here, I've already blasted or tripped some of the traps there for either the wall breakers or maybe perhaps even the queen. And again, dropping those 2 healers, you can see that this person was definitely expecting a queen walk to begin over in this direction here. So maybe I've made the right call there. Pretty happy with the result there. You always want your queen walk to stay up. Now she's done her job already, so we're in good shape. Just popping the ability because she was a little low in health and under fire from the Inferno. Main force goes in as per normal with some jumps and rage and warden pop. Okay, and of course reserving that second free spell for the back Inferno just up here once the first one drops. There it is. Alright, now the rest of the attack is fairly straightforward from here. As you can see, bowlers and giants and golems and things in the core. Queen walk eventually comes around to where those traps were, but then she carries on going around the left flank. I'm also getting into the habit of leaving just a couple of archers and wizards or whatever in the pocket just for the cleanup. Sometimes when the queen goes in, she's going to need a bit of help to get those extra things on the outside, so that's all good. Now, the attack seems to have stalled a little bit in the core here because now I'm out of jumps and I can't quite reach that second layer at the back. Doesn't matter though because my job's already done. I've still got loads of meat shield left up with the golems, and the queen walk is still going strong. Of course, the healers are now locked onto the golem, which is annoying. The queen's now out of protection. But you can see as I speed up here, eventually the healers will lock back onto the queen, and the warden with his range down here in the bottom is doing a good job in finishing off the rest of the buildings around that side. So zoom out so we can see everything what's going on. As you can see, this attack is winding up to a full 100% and quite a lot of loot as well, I might like to add. Very happy with that one. Okay, and the next one here against Canavar, Power of Turkis. This is a ring-styled base. Now this also offers some very good discussion points. Number 1, Town Hall protected by the Infernos, and the Eagle Artillery off to one side, and the dark storage on the other side. Effectively, what this is saying is you have to be either really, really good or you have to make the choice. Take down the Eagle Artillery or else it'll take you down, or are you after the dark and you'll just accept the sacrifice, so to speak. Well, if you're good, you can get both, and I'm about to show you how I, effectively did that. Alright, so starting up here with a queen walk, trying to get into that Eagle Artillery. Note that there aren't very many structures around here that are going to cause too much problem for the queen, so she should be able to get in there. As a matter of fact, as the wall breakers go in, the only thing that can really stop me is a wall breaker fail. And oh, hidden Tesla. So yeah, it looks like I've gone and made a mistake there. I should have waited for the Tesla to pop up, or at least got the queen in there to draw the Tesla before getting the wall breakers in. So I sent in my third one. There's another Tesla. And what I do here is I drop the rage spell. That's on purpose. Get those wall breakers in because I know I've only got 2 left. I don't have enough to breach these walls here on their own. But under rage, Bam! Too fast and too furious. They're going to get their way through. Okay, now the queen's going to carry on through her walk. And you can see here that she is going to make her way through these buildings quite quickly. And once she starts to target the Eagle artillery, once that drops, I'm going to clear out the rest of the junk over here and then drive golems and bowlers through. There we go, gone down. There's the third Tesla. Popping the ability, trying to keep her awake and alive as much as possible. Fortunately, springing all these traps. Triggering the CC, which, okay, usual giants. Doing a bit of thinking about this. It seems as though a lot of giants in the CC, it's either because they're using them for raids or in defense because they've got quite a bit of meat and they do actually do a bit of DPS. But against bowlers, splash damage, they just get crushed. Okay, all pun intended. Alright, so you can see here my attack is following a very familiar pattern. I dropped a freeze there when really I should have dropped the freeze on the back Inferno. That was a mistake from myself. Okay, but I did manage to get the core sorted out. Luckily, we've got the healers now coming through, although not doing much because, of course, that Inferno is blocking the heal effects. So that Inferno is going to stay up and it's going to cause me all sorts of issues to start with. The extra golem in the army composition is showing its worth here, especially when the healers lock on and it's got free reign to run, not going to get hooked up on any compartments or anything like that. And as I said in the previous raid, a couple of wizards, etc. on the outside just to help the cleanup process. So through here, it's all looking pretty good. Okay, the Warden going for the Archer Tower, frustratingly, really should be reaching across and going for the Inferno Tower. That's what I would have preferred, but that's not how the way the game works. Okay, and we'll just fast forward this to completion. Okay, you can see that Inferno Tower is going to cause a few issues, so that was the one I should have frozen to start with, not the first one. But in the end, getting a pretty close to 100% here. Going to get myself 95-ish. And again, decent amount of loot. The loot bonus did make it worthwhile for me in the end there. Right, so up next it's Kate from Farmer Farm, and this base has a few more compartments, so we're about to see the true value of bowlers being able to throw stuff over the walls and get things on the second bounce here. Again, priority targets for me are not going to necessarily be the Dark Elixir, but the Eagle Artillery is going to be the one first. Now, looking at this, I'm pretty certain that my Queen, when I dropped her, was able to reach across and hit that. And then once that's done, I'm predicting these ones are down already, so a jump spell through this part here was my initial plan, and then another jump somewhere in the core, hoping that the army would sweep around in an anti-clockwise direction and pick everything up. So we start off with the Queen. Healers spaced out, which is a new habit of mine as well. Okay, going on to that first Archer Tower. Just a couple of wizards in here, looking to make a breach. Again, looking to maybe get the Queen in that side, but turns out she goes to the left. And under a little bit of heat now from those point defenses, so just got to watch out. 1 or 2 point defenses is okay. So dropping down the rage, triggering a CC at the same time, which is great. Seeing a whole bunch of squishy wizards and archers come out. So again, fairly happy with that result. I really only seem to struggle against a Hound for some reason, because they just hold the Queen up for too long. Alright, and when they pop, those pups come through as well. Right, so now that the Eagle's down, here comes the main force. And a couple of bowlers have gone off to the right to do a bit of smashing on their own. Without the meat, they're going to go down pretty quickly. But the rest are managing to jump through as well. Usual rage story. And then the jump spell over on this part right here, as you can see, ended up being wasted effectively, because not many troops end up going in that direction. They all sort of peel around to the anti-clockwise direction, as noted before. Freezing off the back Inferno. Again, a bit early on the timing there. I would have, thinking about it, frozen it right about now instead. So actually in that period you might have noticed I also popped my Queen ability. She was under no heat at all, meant to pop the Warden, so a couple of derps there from me. But the bowlers are doing their job, chucking stuff over the walls, getting that second bounce on as well, as you can see down here with the storages. Okay, And then, of course, we've got a max double cannon here. Ain't doing squat against my golems right now. All right, everything's just sweeping around, and we're going to pick almost everything up. So I'll fast forward to. So again, that second golem in the army composition is showing its worth. Pretty happy with the fact that I don't have to worry about dark so much anymore. Not until Supercell changes things, of course. So it allows me some time to focus on getting better attacks in and getting better army comps for war. Okay, and as you can see here, we're going to finish up without touching that last elixir store, which is a shame. If I popped my queen ability a bit earlier, maybe I could have got 100% here. Okay, now this one here is somebody from Cat Kingdom. I suppose that's Neko. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, take a look at this base. This is quite a common one. A couple of members of our clan have this one, and this is one that popped up after about a 35-minute search for me, and I just groaned inwardly because I'm not a fan of taking on these bases at all. I've never really been any good at it, but because I managed to do quite well on this one, I'm going to show you how I went about it. Naturally, for me, priority target is not the Dark Elixir down here, but the Eagle Artillery first. Now, I didn't really know how capable my queen was going to be here. These archer towers, they're a bit underdone, same with these cannons. If they're a bit higher, there's certainly no way I would have gone in. And I also know that these Expos are in the wrong place. They're slightly too deep, a little bit out of range. Oh, the queen will be a little bit out of range for them. So in we go. What I had to do here was use one of my jump spells pretty early on, but because of the way the base is designed, if you get the bowlers on the inside run here, they can get everything else without needing that second jump. So just being aware and flexible in your thinking and in your routines. So getting the queen in was quite important. And my only real stress now was, is my queen going to be able to get all these other junk buildings out of the way first before that jump spell runs out of time? Now you can see that if the cannons were substituted for the two Expos, my queen would have been in for a real rough time, having to cut her way through those storages with a high hit points. Dropping a rage down, dropping a rage and popping her ability just to get her through. So if you've got one of these bases and you're looking to defend your Eagle Artillery, try copy that design, but just switch those Expos over with those cannons, probably a good start. Okay, now the rest of the attack. In with the Golem, now that the Eagle is down. Okay, and a small squad. And I've overcommitted my wizards here. You're about to see what I mean by that. Small squad, and just using the healers here just to see if they're any good. At the moment, locking onto the Golem, I'm not sure I'm getting much value out of having the 5th and 6th healer. Alright, so I might experiment and see if I'm going to have any better luck with some Valkyries or something else. Here comes the CC. Let's take a pause and have a look what we got. We've got some archers. There's a miner. Skeletons, I presume, from a witch. And some bowlers. We've got an eclectic mix. Probably a licorice all sorts sort of grab bag there. Okay, but they die just the same because they're squishy and poisoned and get crushed by rocks. Yep, there's a witch. Definitely a witch there. Okay, so the queen has finished off. Well, about to finish off over here. And the healers come and join the rest of the party, drawing in all the skeletons, of course. So we're going to just speed this one up now. All right, now pay attention to down here. Those bombs save the day. It's this gold storage right here that doesn't end up going down, and I end up getting another a sweet 99%. As you can see, like I said, that second jump was used to just make that breach and get the bowlers in my inside track. Don't really need it apart from that. All right, because they are capable of throwing things over. Now, at the moment, I've got 2 golems left, and they're pretty good health as well. So perhaps maybe a bit too much on the meat shield there, but I firmly believe without them I wouldn't have got this far. Okay, we'll speed up now, and you can see that I'm not going to have enough time to get to that gold mine in the corner. The real question is, do I get to the town hall? And the answer is yes, I do. But again, because I overcommitted the wizards, didn't get that last little storage down there. That'll do it for today. Thanks for watching. Dev out.